So we are at our second discussion session for pets. You've had one full week. You've had 2 sets of training. Thank you for sticking with us. And thank you in advance for sticking with us for another 2.5 weeks. It is essential for your success as a club leader to attend these sessions and to utilize the information you gain here throughout the Rotary year. Rotary is an organization that is steeped in tradition, and while it has moved into being flexible, it also is known for its adherence to rules and regulations to make it such a success over the past 118 years. These sessions not only prepare you for your role, they offer you an advantage to meet with your fellow president and secretaries-elect and give you an opportunity to network with each other. These are your classmates. These are your friends. These are your family. It's easier once you've met them, you have a challenge, or if you want to collaborate on a project or an event, you know each other now and you can always reach out. Ask anyone who's been president or secretary before. There is never a time when you can do it all on your own, and it's always amazing to be able to reach out to someone from Grenada when you're in Trinidad, or reach out to someone from Suriname, all the way in St. Kitts to help you, or just to talk about the journey that it is to be a president. Don't take this time for granted. Please put your all into it. And of course, I have to put in my plug for the district, for the Learning Center. Please, 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 please do your roles on the Learning Center. So I will be quiet now and let you actually listen to the people who have the knowledge to impart. Do have a wonderful session. Okay, now I will actually we're supposed to do a photo now, but my photographer was running late. I don't know if he's on as yet. Let me just do a quick scan. I think both of my photographers, I had a backup. I think both of them are late. None of them are on. Okay, we can do the photo opportunity a bit later. So now I will invite Rotarian Jaffrick and Rotaractor Ryan to introduce our Q&A panelists.
Okay, so we have Sandra Hempstead, a Rotarian since 2006. Sandra currently serves as Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator for Zone 34. She was proud to serve as District Governor in 2018 to 2019 and as Club President from 2014 to 2015. In 2014, Sandra received Rotary International's highest honor, the Service Above Self Award, for leading more than 1.5 million in humanitarian services projects to deliver clean water and provide literacy, primary education, and medical assistance in developing nations. In 2017, Sandra received Rotary's citation for meritorious service in recognition of outstanding service to the Rotary Foundation. A strong supporter of the Rotary Foundation, Sandra is a major donor, a member of the Paul Harris Society, and a member of the Bequest Society. Sandra is a graduate of St. Louis University and University of Missouri, where she received a bachelor's degree in nursing and a master's degree in education. She worked as an orthopedic, neurosurgical nurse and nursing educator before enjoying a health insurance career with United Health Group. Sandra is married to Rotarian Wayne, and they have 2 daughters and 6 grandchildren. We also have here PAG Sharon Cordner. Sharon Cordner is a member of the Rotary Club of Antigua since 2004. Second generation Rotarian to past President Carl Grace Lewis. TRF major donor, level 1 charter member of District 7030, Polio Plus Society Club Secretary several times, past Club Director of International Services, past President Rotary Club of Antigua, past Assistant Governor Antigua and Montserrat, Maternal and Child Health Club Committee Chair, District 7030, Annual Funds Subcommittee Chair, District 7030, Childhood Obesity Prevention Program Team Member, 1994, graduate of UE Specialist in Internal Medicine and Rheumatology, Consultant Physician at the Sir Lester Bird Medical Center and a private practice, strong believer in work-life balance, avid runner. Yes, okay. So we have PDG Wadi Soma. Wadi Soma was born in Suriname and holds a master's degree in microeconomics. He as an entrepreneur since 1999, he is in the business of import and retail of casual ready-to-wear clothing. In 2002, Wadi became a Rotarian as a charter member of the very vibrant Rotary Club Paramaribo Residence, RCPR, with 65 members. He served in several club and district positions. While serving in 2014 to 2015 as district secretary, he was elected to lead the district in 2017-2018. Wadi loves to attend district conferences and RI conventions, the events to make new friends and to meet old ones. Wadi is passionate about the foundation and its impact on a local and global scale. He really got involved in Rotary when he was asked by his club to join a water, sanitation, and hygiene committee, which executed quite a few sanitation projects with the financial support of the RTF. Currently, Wadi is the District Rotary Foundation Chair. Wadi is a Polio Plus Society and Paul Harris Society member, a major donor, level 2, the Rotary Foundation. Wadi is married to Shirley. Shirley is a member of the Rotary Club of Paramaribo Central and is the immediate past president. She is also a major level 2 donor to the foundation.
AB, over to you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. And this segment is where you, the participants, are required to project your questions to our very knowledgeable panelists who are all eager to share their views and clear up anything that you may wish to have cleared up coming out of last Tuesday's session on global grants and district grants. So you can either open your mic or you can type your questions in the chat. I didn't pick up any questions being carried over or being brought forward from Tuesday later. So it's all going to be brand new questions as that's popping up now. So the floor is open. Feel free. This is your opportunity. Whatever might be of concern to you for your knowledge and for your club's knowledge, this is your opportunity to engage the very knowledgeable panelists. And if I can probably kick things off a bit if I can pose maybe to PDG Wadi, who is part of the District Grants Committee. PDG, for the last, let's say maybe 2 years, what has been maybe the mean value or the average value of district grants?
As you know, it is that our funding for district grants comes out of the district designated fund. And the average and it's 50% of that district designated fund. The contributions to the foundation through the annual fund were in the proximity of about $190,000 to $200,000 each year. So for this year, it was, and that the contributions were made 3 years ago. So that was 190,000 more or less. So we received 85,000 from the foundation. From that 85,000, 50% more or less is for district grants, and 50% is for global grants and other donations. So if you make if you calculate that, it means that we had for this year about 42,500, which could be distributed for or awarded to district grants. And that's more or less the same figure for the last 5 years. So let's say between $40,000 and $45,000.
And that's the total, but I was asking about the average the disbursement to clubs based on their application. What has been maybe the mean value or average value of grants, district grants disbursed to clubs?
You mean the average value of a grant?
Yeah.
Okay, it depends, and it was between, let's say, $3,000 and $10,000 depending on the amount of the number of grants, district grants applications we're receiving each year. For example, as far as I can remember, I think this year it was about a number of 12, of which 2 were declined and 10 were granted, awarded. Last year, I think it was about 6 grants only. So we get about between 8 and 12 grants each year. And then we have to divide the $45,000 that we have in our as district designated fund for district grants.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Neil in the chat. Would there be a published list of grants available for application to all club presidents and the criteria to be guided? And I think in the chat also, Leah, you would have put the district grants package, which provides details of the criteria to be met. Anil, I don't know if that, if you have clicked on that link or downloaded the 70 grants package, if that provides the answers to your question. If not, can you be a little more, can you add a little more clarity to your question? Anil?
He said he'll check.
Oh, okay.
And the document that we put in, that's for discussion, that's for the discussion room discussion. So it's, as you said, it's the package, so persons will have a chance to go through it in their discussion rooms and look at the criteria, ask any more detailed questions, and the form, the application form is actually attached to that as well. So they'll be able to see what they have to include and again ask for clarity on that.
Okay. Right, he says he will check. So there are no other questions. Please feel free if anyone wants, before we go into the breakout rooms, if there's anything that you may want to get some clarification on now's your time.
I have a question, if I'm allowed.
Sure.
And this question is to all 3 of the panelists. As you noted from their bios, they're all very avid donators to the Rotary Foundation. How can clubs or how can club presidents and club foundation chairs encourage their club members to give? That is a challenge, a major challenge that clubs have been saying. As a matter of fact, PDG Wadi, if you don't mind me sharing, the district is currently behind on its giving goals, and our foundation chair recently sent out a notice to all AGs indicating how far behind we were for so late in the year. So it's definitely time to put the pedal to the metal, something, I don't know what the saying is. Anyways, please, if you have any, can you give us any ideas of how to encourage our members to donate?
May I start us off?
Yes, Sandra.
Well, I think there's a few things. Most of us don't give just because we have extra money hanging around. We give because we give to a project, to an initiative that's happening. So as a club president, your main role is really to connect your club members to the Rotary Foundation, to the work that we're doing. So if you have someone come and speak at your club, have your club members talk about the projects that your club is doing, would be a wonderful way to get started. I also feel like sometimes members feel that they need to give a large sum of money, and we don't all have a large sum of money. So I want everyone to know, and you can quote me on this, a very big thank you from the Rotary Foundation for every dollar that's given, every of whatever currency you have in your island that's given, because it all makes quite a big difference. It might surprise you to find that the average gift to the Rotary Foundation in US dollars is $100. And it might also surprise you to know that members that give $25 or less, when you add it up for the year, it amounts to more than $5 million. So all of the work that we do and all of the funds that we give are combined together. And even if we've given what we feel is perhaps a small dollar amount, it adds up. And it adds up to something that's very significant when you start to think about what we can do for the benefit of others with $5 million, for example. It becomes a big fund for the work that we do as Rotarians.
Yes, I would like to stress, especially.
Leah or AB, can I?
Certainly, Liz. Or we had PDG. Let's PDG. What he wanted to continue on the question, so maybe we can
Okay.
allow him, and then you can go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to make a remark and add on, let's say, the amount that we think, let's say it in other terms, $25 brings us, well, for example, in our district, we have about, from the 22,400 members, 800 are contributing to the foundation. So 1,600 are not contributing. 1,600 are not contributing. If you multiply 1,600 by 25, it means about $40,000. Where $40,000 we can get extra through donations for our grants in the district. So a small amount of money, $25 a year, means divided by 300, just $8 a day. So if we could really, if we could see the work, the projects that we are doing, and what the Rotary Foundation is supporting through grants, we really need to, let's say, step up and please donate to the foundation. Thank you.
Okay. Liz?
Yeah, no, I just really wanted to follow up on what Sandra said. You know, what clubs can also do is to, of course, it has to be done and approved at a club assembly. It's included as part of their dues, even if it's $5, you include that as part of the dues. So everyone is, you know, contributed to our club dues. And the chair of the foundation committee, Ronald, passes the hat around to make sure he gets extra. And a portion of the profits went in the name of that person, a portion of the tickets, the cost of the ticket went to, you know, in the name of that person to the foundation. So additional funds were contributed on behalf of members who attended. And we invited people from other clubs as well, and we gave them that credit as well. So I just really want that.
Yeah, so Liz, that might be a soft way in which we can, you know, encourage members to contribute. I know there are clubs that have actually built that into their dues, annual dues. So it's not seen as, let's say, extra, and you know that can be allocated to the foundation. Do we have any clubs that practices that at the moment, where whether it is $100 or $25, but some amount that is geared or targeting, you know, its way to the foundation? Do we have any clubs on the call that actually practice this at the moment, or has practiced? PG Wadi? Anyone else?
I mentioned that, but I
Yes.
think my call dropped. Sharon just sent me a message. Yes, my
Okay.
audio
Yeah.
went. Yeah, our club did it from inception, but we were a new club. But in the, you know, clubs can do it. They can, I guess, a club assembly make a pitch for that as well. I think Roger wanted to say something.
Yes, PG Roger.
Thank you very much. I came on a little bit late, so I don't know if this was mentioned before, so forgive me if I'm repeating anything. However, we are also missing the point that not only individuals can contribute to the foundation, but projects, fundraising projects that have been specifically done to raise funds to send to the foundation. So it's also a point to try to encourage clubs to potentially have specifically arranged projects that would then be a club donation to the foundation, and this obviously could add to the coffers as well, not just from individuals.
And PG, rather the project should be so designated so that it's clear where some of the proceeds will go, right?
Well, there are two things I want to say about that. One is that it does not have to be. It's a fundraising project of the club, and then the club can decide how much, whether it's 100% or part percent of that profit from that fundraiser will be allocated directly to the foundation on behalf of the club. But if you feel from a marketing standpoint that it might make a difference to the success of your fund to the foundation, we've done it both ways, and we've been successful in both ways. And from my recollection, there are a few other clubs that have done that in the past, perhaps not every year, but it is a good way to particular donation to the foundation on behalf of the club can be further, you can further realize recognition from that as well.
It's club recognition. PDG Lyle, you wanted to make your contribution?
Hi, thanks everybody. One of the things I like to stress to Rotarians is it's a strategy. If you give to the foundation, all the district gets district designated funds from that. And you can use district designated funds to fund your grants. If the club doesn't give to the foundation. The district designated funds are low, like they are right now, Wadi, and we only have $40,000 that we can split. But if you want to fund a project, the strategy should really be, let us put the money into the foundation and then we will apply for a grant. Because once we have enough going into the foundation, the DDF will come back to us and we'll have more money available.
And if I may, to follow up on that,
Sure.
DDF is split in for district grants and also global grants. And especially if we're talking about bigger projects with greater reach, impact, global grant is the way to go. And the nice thing about being a Rotarian, being part of a big global family, the Rotary family, is that we can tap into the resources, the funds that are in other districts and other clubs. So by joining, by first, of course, make a donation, make it possible to start funding your project with a small grant from the district, district designated fund for global grants. You can also tap into the greater resource that there is out there, and that is the global network of Rotarians and Rotary clubs. We must not forget it. And I can speak out of own experience that with just $2,000, you can do projects for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 and more. So yes, it seems like you're giving away some of your money that you can directly give to your project. But in the end, because of the system, the share system, once you make use of the global grant resource, so to speak, you can just multiply that $2,000-$3,000 that you have been spending and been donating to the foundation.
Thank you, Wadi, for sharing that. I was just thinking that, we have a limited amount of funds, but with just a few thousand and a network of people across the world who really want to help, there are very, very large grants that we can do.
Yeah.
Lyle is shaking his head yes, and of course he remembers the first time I met him was a number of years ago doing a $300,000 water project in St. Lucia. And we had 21 districts involved in that project. So we didn't each give $300,000, and none of the districts had that much, but we all gave our part. And then we get the match from the World Fund at the Rotary Foundation. So it really does make a huge difference if we move into a global grant. Your district is also lucky because you have multiple countries. Yeah. Because you can have, a host country and an international country in the same district, and then fund throughout the world with other districts. Lots of opportunity.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So Leah, we don't have any more questions in the chat unless someone wants to verbalize theirs. If not, if there's anything else that you want to cover before we head off into the room. Leah?
I just wanted to make one brief comment in Trinidad, we have something called a poor man's dinner, which we have annually as a staple part of the club's projects, and that all of that fund goes towards the Rotary Foundation. So the more tickets we sell, the more money we make, of course, and the more money we make, of course, all of it goes towards Rotary Foundation. And that's something we have every year as a rule, literally as a rule. No matter which president comes in, that's a rule in December. So I just want to make that comment, that statement. Thank you.
Thanks very much for sharing with us. Wonderful. Okay, so Leo, no more questions in the chat, or unless anyone wants to share.
Sorry.
Uh,
I have my
I'm
hand
sure.
up, but I can't
Yes.
find the button. Sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Since Leah asked what made us donors as well, I wanted to just share a little bit on my experience. Well, traditionally, I'm a second generation Rotarian, so I know in the older days, buying your own Paul Harris Fellow was not the way it went, and that people expected to be awarded. So it took a while to even change that mindset. But as a Rotarian, I always contributed the 100 per year. But at my first district conference, PDG Says Dilwig opened it up to the floor to say he would match points if people pledged at the conference. So he made it possible for me to get my first Paul Harris Fellow. So he put 500 points, I put $500 at that time, or whatever the difference was. And then I got bitten by the Paul Harris bug. So now I want to do that more and more, but it really started with that incentive coming from the district governor, and also the opportunity, I guess, to be one of a few, or as many who chose to do it then. So you felt a generosity and there was an incentive. And then another time, but I've only seen it once in the subsequent 16 years, Rotary had a matching day whereby whatever money you put would be doubled. I grabbed that one too. I'm like, what, multiplying money? Why not? So then it was easier to get the second one. And then of course, if you do one, you do two. Where do you stop? You're more encouraged to go. So as it is, we don't have any major incentives like that. So we could approach the members who have more points, or to the leaders who have more points, to try to stimulate. In my club, what we did a year ago or so, we looked at all the members who were very close to having, well, I'm talking about in my time. We looked at members who were close to becoming Paul Harris Fellows. And in some cases, if they were at $800 or $9 or $7, we either asked them to consider putting the extra money to become a Paul Harris Fellow. And in some cases, I would have taken my extra points and topped them up so that more people became Paul Harris Fellows. So if they're like me and they're happy to be a Paul Harris Fellow, maybe that would be the start, or to say that somebody is so generous as to help you get it, you might be more encouraged to do it. And what I do too, sometimes when I'm giving $100 here or there, I name a member of my club who I think is doing good work. And then, of course, Rotary International, I let them know that I've nominated them for this contribution that I've made. So it makes them feel more proud and appreciated, and hopefully the trickle-down effect would be that they too will go and contribute to the foundation. So for me, it's never been about a specific project. It's just because I believe a Rotarian is supposed to do it, and you do it. But once you get into that league, it's kind of seductive. Thank you. That's all I had to say.
Sharon, I think one of the other good points is that the club will have points that they can give as a match as well. Once the club has donated as an entity, it will also have points.
Yes, excellent suggestion. And thanks for that testimony, Sharon. I think that has already started to resonate with some persons on this call. So hopefully that inspires persons to follow your path. Okay.
Grayson has his hands up.
All right.
Yeah,
Grayson,
just
yes.
want to quickly add to what Sharon was saying. So in my club as well, the custom was that each year the president would award a PHF to someone in the club. And what I started noticing that persons would be awarded PHFs, but they themselves were not really contributing to the foundation at all. I was president of my club last year, and I decided to do things a little different. So what I did is those members that I saw were donating throughout the year, I matched their donation for the year. So if you donated $100 for the year, I from the clubs and would match that. So I'm hoping that the current president
will follow that trend to encourage persons to donate, and rather than just expect the club to bestow you with a PHF.
Okay, excellent. All right, Leah, how much time do we have again for questions, comments, testimonies, sharing their club's practices? I think we're all learning.
We're doing well on time. We actually have
Okay,
17 minutes, I want to say.
right.
More.
Wonderful.
We're scheduled to go into the rooms at 6 p.m. However, we can go in earlier if there really are no more questions. But if you have a burning question or a burning comment, as AB said, a testimonial, don't be shy. We want to hear from you. This is your time. Okay.
Okay, so it's 6:43.
Right.
6:43.
Oh, Sharon has her hand up.
Okay.
Sorry. The other thing, I didn't put it in my presentation, but I actually wanted to thought of it after to share. Again, going back to my mom, when they were raising the initiative for polio, it was around the time, it was the day after she passed that I got a call saying, you know, please become a Paul Harris Society founding member for the polio thing too. And so then I did it in acknowledgement of her, just to say, my mother was a great Rotarian, why not go ahead and contribute to polio? So I think we need to consider more landmark events in our lives, either in tribute to somebody who you respected, who passed, or when you get a big promotion. I think I mentioned this, you know, when something good happens to you, we can send a message to say, pass it on by doing something good for Rotary, because whatever you put there is going to go so far, you know, towards helping. So I also thought in preparing it that we need to do more with even the endowment, to just start with something, because we always focus on just the funds, which is useful for us in a sort of selfish way, but you can also give to the endowment fund and just become a member of that society as well. But we need to just think, you know, when you have a baby, you get a ring or you get a piece of jewelry or something. Yes, well, you can also contribute to Rotary and celebrate it in a different way. That's it.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing some more, Sharon. So Leah, now it's time, I think it's 6:45.
Yes, okay, so instructions for the groups. Again, we shared the group listing in the chat, in the Zoom chat earlier. Let me share it again for those who just joined. Discussion room. Discussion room. Oh, here we go. While you're in the discussion rooms, the leader of the discussion room really isn't the one that's necessarily going to be doing all of the talking. What will be happening in the discussion rooms is that you will go through the package that I just shared again. You will look at the criteria. The criteria themselves are not up for discussion in the sense of whether you think that they're too onerous or they're too rigid or they're too easy. That is not the topic of discussion. What is the topic of discussion is that these are the criteria and how can you meet them if you don't think you do, or if you think you fall short, and getting suggestions as to if you're not where the criteria says you need to be, what can you do to get there? Also, you're going to go through the form and fill out the form as though you are a club in your group applying for a grant. That will help you wrap your mind around filling out the form. That way too, the first time that you actually go to apply for a grant would not be the first time that you're working on the form, especially if you're cutting it a little close to your project. Let me share the listing one more time. Again, if your name is not on the list, that does not mean you don't have to participate. Please join a group. Feel free, because you will go to your groups on your own. The French groups are in group one, room 1 and room 6, but you'll see your names. PDGs, AGs, some of you I don't have in any rooms, but you are free to go to whichever room you so desire. If you'd like me to assign you to a room, I will be happy to do so as well. Do we have any questions before we go to our rooms? Is anyone unclear about what we have to do?
How long do they have in the rooms?
Right, the
Alia?
time, yeah, the time in the room.
Oh, well, it was supposed to be an hour, but since we're early, we can start with 45 minutes and see if persons are okay with that, and then we may get an early night.
45
I know some
minutes.
people may be happy for that.
But you will be.
Je m'excuse, mais je n'ai pas vu les critères, la liste des critères.
Oh, the list.
I'm sorry, but I haven't seen the listing.
Yeah,
for
I
the
saw. I
criteria.
understand. It's in Frank. That was Frank. Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
that was me.
I haven't seen it either.
I put it in the Zoom chat. So look in the chat. I just shared it. Is everyone seeing it
Yeah, so
in
once
the
you
Zoom
see,
chat?
once you see a name, you just head straight to that room.
Wait. Before you go,
Okay.
download it out of the chat, because once you switch to your room, your chat won't be available anymore. So the document will not be in there. I forgot to say that. We had some challenges with that last time.
Yeah, and Leah, can you also
Are you able
enable
to share?
sharing?
Yes, let me do that now so that multiple
Yeah.
persons can share simultaneously. Okay, Ronald, you can go in room 4.
Good, wonderful. Sure. So sharing is enabled here, thanks.
Yes, so one person in the group can share the document on their screen, which should be the package, and then you just go through it page by page. Make sure you understand it, because again, we don't want the first time you're doing this to be the first time you're applying for a grant. We want this to be a seamless process. And since our district giving is going to increase phenomenally, we know that our grants requests are also going to increase because we have so much money. So we want to make sure that it's as seamless as possible and everybody knows how to do it. So please take the exercise in that vein. Okay, do we have any more questions? Everyone okay? Let me open the rooms and then you'll just click on the room to which you've been assigned. If you have any challenges, please let me know. Moving right along. Do we have any major questions coming out of the sessions? Out of your discussion rooms, everyone feels comfortable if they have to do a grants application tomorrow or next week? Do you feel comfortable with it, that you'll be able to complete it, submit it, and be successful?
Yeah, I think so. It may just take about reading it about 100 times over, but I think so.
But everything is clear. That's the main thing. Looking at the document, you feel that you have everything you need.
Yes, I think so. And if you have once you have a club that is behind you, they'll fill in the blanks where you can't fill in the blanks.
Okay,
It was a great opportunity to go through the form in detail and to be familiar with all the different sections. But a lot of it is exactly as Wadi told us 2 nights ago as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was just for you to see for yourselves. Some people, they can listen and hear and understand. Other people, they need to listen, hear, and see. So we capture everyone, and that helps to solidify it in your mind as well. Okay, we did promise you an early night, so we'll move straight into our announcements, just a few. Next week, Tuesday, training sessions continue at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Our topics next week: ruling Rotary Club Central, and showcase, Rotary Showcase. I don't know why showcase wasn't coming to my mind. So we will have our district and club support persons from RI on with us to go through Rotary Club Central and Showcase with us. We know that this is a website that they keep updating, trying to make it more and more user-friendly. Whether or not they have achieved that, I am not going to say. However, it's something that we have to do, and using the excuse that we don't know how, or it's too frustrating, or it takes too much time, is not acceptable, especially as your club president and club secretary. Really and truly, the buck stops with you to ensure that your data is updated on Rotary Club Central. This is the central area where all of the club officers, all of the district officers, and all of RI's officers can see your club's information. If you don't input it there, then it hasn't happened. It doesn't matter what you put on social media. It doesn't matter what you put in the news. If it is not on Rotary Club Central, then it has not happened. So we'll have those two persons on with us to walk us through and give us a proper tutorial to help us meet our updating goals. Secondly, we will have the great one, the one and only Sean Paddy, come on to help us go through our Club Runner for those of us who use Club Runner. And also we know that we have the District Club Runner that he's encouraged everyone to sign up to for district purposes. Again, not knowing how to use it is not an excuse. So he will come on to walk us through that as well. We encourage you to invite your club administration, your incoming club administration chairs or directors, especially if they assist with your inputting on Rotary Club Central. If they don't, it could be a good opportunity for you to spread the work around, as they are the head of the club administration anyways, and it would be for them to help you. We also, I'll put it in the chat once I'm done, reminder where you can access all of the PETS materials that have gone so far, and the recordings. They're usually uploaded between 2 to 3 days after each session. Lastly, please, I am asking so nicely, please remember to do your courses on the Rotary Learning Center. They are amazing. They are long-ish, but here's the secret. If you break it up, you can do one in 30 minutes, then you could do another one in 10, and then you could do another 15. And before you know it, you'd have done all of the courses for your post. It is extremely important. You can only get the best out of your post if you put the best into your post. So please, let's go on the Rotary Learning Center and do our sessions. Let me get the link for you. DGE is not here, so I also will have to do the closing. Thank you again for coming. Tonight's turnout was a bit low, so for those of you, especially the AGs who are on, please remind your PEs and SEs of the importance of coming to our PET sessions. These sessions are for them. It is to help them, guide them, help prepare them for their roles to take over their club leadership. It is an indication of how serious they take their posts. If they commit now to coming and commit to learning, then it shows that they are more likely to commit to the leadership of their club, especially the amount of dedication that is required in those roles. So we look forward to seeing them next week and for the remainder of PETS. Before you go, please let me share the link in the chat where you can access all your PETS materials. There's the link. Please click on it, and you'll also see the schedule as well for anyone who can't recall the schedule. If we don't have anyone else with any comments, oh, PDG Wadi, did you want to say something?
Yes, thank you. Well, it was just to stress the importance of Rotary Club Central, and especially as a foundation chair, I see that, for example, for the last 5 years, around about 20% of our clubs do not put in their foundation chair goals, and it's not only information for the club and the members and the district and RI, but of course it gives you how you're progressing as a club. And once again, for the foundation, it is important that we know what the club will do. And if, for example, the coming year, I hope not, you have a goal of 0, then put in the 0, and at least we know that that's your goal, and that we don't need to expect any donations from you, from the club. So that is what I wanted to stress, because it helps the district team to follow the progress of the. Thank you.
Thanks, PDG Wadi. And thank you all so much for your time and attention. Your commitment is noted. Have a wonderful evening and see you next week.